looks like you got breaking news for me.
Can I break some news to you right now?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco has been traded to the Bengals.
Okay. All right. So we got an in-division
trade. Took you a minute to compute that. Yeah, it's a lot going on there.
Oh man, behind that O-line. Okay. I mean, you can't get any worse than what Jake Browning put out there on Sunday. You can't.
No.
I tweeted this, but that was like Jake Browning versus Alabama when he was at Washington. They played in the college football playoff.
Oh my God.
He was just totally overwhelmed.
Brutal.
Absolutely overwhelmed. All right. Well, Joe Flacco to the Bengals. What do you think about that, Matt? Just real quick.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. They absolutely had to do something, right? They couldn't. It was getting to a point where it wasn't credible, their operation there. Now, this is not the outcome that I probably would have thought, right. Just because I think everybody wanted to see, Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. And I actually do think that I have been maybe as skeptical about Russell Wilson since he left the Seahawks as almost anybody out there. And just kind of being like, I don't really know if this is, I don't know. I didn't think it was going to work in Denver to the level that everybody else thought it was going to, because he is so particular. And I think the longer he has played, the more particular he's gotten. I actually thought in this situation, it could have worked just because of what the Bengals want to be, which is, it's basically touchdown to check down anyways. So it's not a lot of complicated over the middle of the field stuff. They lean into all of those things, which with a guy like Browning, you're just drawing dead at this point with some of their route concepts and the way these players need to be used. I think with Flacco, I think it's going to look a little bit too much like the Colts though from last year, where it's a lot of shotgun. It's not as much like you're being supported by a strong running game. Like the best of Flacco has been when you've been able to get him under center 2 years ago, by the way, which he no longer has the legs. I mean, you felt that immediately when Dylan Gabriel, surprisingly, we are talking about the Browns in this episode, but you felt that immediately in last week's game, where just even a quarterback who can move a little bit is going to do wonders for your ground game. Yeah. I guess the Bengals are looking at this saying, hey, we don't have a ground game anyway, so who cares? We're just hoping that Joe Flacco can rip it to some of these guys down the field. But I think because they're so shotgun based, I kind of am skeptical that it's probably gonna look better than Browning, but I'm skeptical that it can be anything super exciting.
I don't think it'll be consistent, because the run game's not consistent right now. Like you said, if they're in the gun, even more. The best of Flacco is under center. The best of Flacco is like in Stefanski's first offense with Baker, under center, good run game, Nick Chubb, play action, and then now it's that Flacco's not gonna operate that way. He just takes so long. He's a catapult. Right now, just takes so long to get rid of the ball, and then the ball flies out. And I think with the Bengals, who I know everyone envisions Burrow, and it's just a lot of quick game, getting the ball out, a lot of high lows. I think it's more just going to become 989, which is 2 goes on the outside, a middle route in the middle, and just it's going to come down to a bunch of third downs and a bunch of go balls. I think last week where they just missed out on a couple of those vertical shots, actually the last 2 weeks, the Broncos game as well, they missed out on those vertical shots where Higgins or Chase are actually winning because they win a lot. And I think they're just like, well, we'll just live and die and see a race to 8 explosive passes, even with a 36% success rate. We can't get worse success rate wise, so might as well try and get some explosives. We always talk about that math, trying to get one of those two things or both. So I think that's maybe this is what they're going for. It can't get worse. At least Flacco on some grenades and at least make it a little bit exciting. Yeah, the defense stinks. They had some moments last week, but the Lions got banged up as well. But that's interesting. In-division trade is always interesting as well. But I guess, it's also the Bengals who kind of just don't operate by norms. Yeah. They just kind of do whatever they want to do, apparently. So Gabriel was fine, I thought, on Sunday. Got some ball quick, I thought he was fine. And then I thought the run game's getting going. No, Shadur's actually relevant. I actually do think there's times to actually talk about Shedeur Sanders now. So hello there. So I'm sure a lot of producers are very happy across the country. But no, I think
they did not need the
Bengals,
invitation. It looks like, at least on some of the bigger networks, did not look like they needed any invitation to that whatsoever. So at least on our show, maybe we'll actually talk about, we'll actually address him at some point now. But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think from a production standpoint, it truly can't get any worse than what it was in Cincinnati. So this at least helps.
I understand it for both teams in the weirdest way. I do because it's like, all right, well, we have Gabriel. He's fine. All right, he checked the box. Not the easiest defense to go against. All right, let's just roll with them, see what we got, and then we can see what we got. 2 first-round picks next year. I mean, the Jaguars pick's not as juicy as it was looking, but we can just move on from that and see what we have with him, see if we have anything with Shedeur Sanders. I think that's just how they go about it. And I think with the Bengals, it's just like, well, it can't get worse. Let's just throw some deep balls, shoot off some fireworks, and hopefully we can scrounge together some fun games. Also, we're going to preview the Monday Night Football game, Jags Chiefs. But before we do that, make sure to check us out on the Yahoo Sports Network. Our brand new streaming TV channel, Yahoo Sports Network, is available to stream on leading fast services or on yahoosports.tv. A lot of great stuff coming at you there from all over Yahoo. Got baseball in full swing, if you can't tell with my Mariners sweatshirt. Hopefully I don't jinx it tonight. But no, let's get into Monday Night Football. What was a chaotic, entertaining Monday night game that felt very Duval, Jacksonville, Leonard Skinner blaring. I mean, just raucous crowd. Plenty of Chiefs fans, though. I would say it kind of wrapped up this weird week 5. I kept using the word wonky. That's the last time I'll use it on this entire show, but wacky and crazy. And we had a ton of upsets. Our Ben Fox from here at Yahoo had a great little tweet today where he said underdogs went 9-5 against the spread, and all 9 that covered also won their game outright. You had the 49ers, Cowboys, Panthers, Broncos, Bucks, Titans, Commanders, Patriots, and Jags. A couple 8-point underdogs there. The Chiefs outgained the Jags by over 150 yards. They had a success rate of 68.3%. Mahomes wasn't sacked. They won the turnover battle, and they lost. And wow. I actually feel really good about the Chiefs offense after this game, or at least much better than I did a couple of weeks ago. Brashard Smith's getting some touches. The run game's really getting going. Those young offensive linemen are really getting going. But I do think the Jaguars had some great moments and also some just troughs in this game. Just capped off by that Trevor Lawrence stumble-rooski, double stumble into the score, break 3 tackles. Matt, what are some of your takeaways from this wild Monday night game?
Okay, I'm going to flip this back here and ask you a question, because I've been dying to ask you this basically ever since the game ended. What, as a Trevor Lawrence backer, and I think we can safely say that you are Trevor Lawrence defender, what did that game feel like to you? Like, I don't care. I'm not talking about evaluate it. Just emotionally, what did it feel like to you?
The QB sneak fumble, or where you try to jump over the line and didn't score at the goal line. I was like, it was just, here we go again. It was the GTA meme. I got, here we go again. Red zone turnover, Trevor Lawrence. No, overall, it's kind of, that really encapsulated Trevor. Some moments of brilliance, some absolute great ball placements, decisions, and then moments where he's maybe trying to do too much, doesn't trust what he's seeing, and also just has a weird turnover. But again, I just like the aggression he played with. I mean, even the PI at the end, it's like, yeah, you can see like it's cheap and it's gaming up a PI, but that's because he's attacking the end zone. Like, and that's a thing. That's why I like with quarterbacks is like, fortune favors the bold. You get more big plays on top of, you'll have some negative stuff crop up, but like, that's why you get those penalties in key moments, because you're pushing the ball. You don't really get PI on little 4-yard under routes. You get PI on down the field routes and double breaking routes and in breaking routes. So I also thought Trevor, with all the pregame operation, was actually pretty damn good. I know people were making fun of how long it was taking. That's because the play call is getting in so late. And if you notice, this is what the Rams have been doing for a few years with Stafford, and I've been a couple of offenses are doing it right now with some quarterbacks that can handle it. Notice like how many times he'd be under center, they would kill a play, and then he'd go to shotgun, or he'd be in the shotgun and then kill a play, and then go, or alert or and then go under center. That takes a lot of words to like get that whole play call in, or to get you're basically getting 2 separate play calls in, and they're already wordy enough. They're already 7, 8, 9, 10 word plays. So now you're getting to 20 plus words, and the quarterback has to be aware of what they're getting. And so that's why if you don't get that play call in at like 18 or like really 24, 22, 20 seconds, if you're getting it at 16 right before the headset cuts off, you're breaking the huddle at 10. And then you have to kill the play at 7. Like, it's just a lot of operation they're trying to get through. But this is what we've been talking about with the Jags. I know I've just kind of explained the whole Jag stuff, but it's but this is what we've been talking to is like, yeah, they've had illegal shifts and everything, but this is good process. Like, the result of this is going to be great. It's just that you got a lot of young players. You got a guy that's a part-time receiver who's still learning the playbook, but you see his flashes in Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, just like some people are asking me, they're like, how long should this take? Like, should you get worried? I go, he's behind the 8 ball a little bit mentally, but it's okay because the juice is worth the squeeze. Like, just stick with it. Just ride this out, because look at those flashes you see from Travis Hunter. But that's part of this. They have a young offense as far as skill players. So they're trying to do a lot right now, and they're trying to work through it. But the results are good most of the time, but there is some chaotic moments. I think, to answer your original question, that kind of sums up Trevor Lawrence as well.
It really does perfectly sum up Trevor Lawrence. It was the most Trevor Lawrence game I think you could dial up, which is perfect for a Monday Night Football island game, as we always talk about. This is when narratives get made. This is when people truly make evaluations of players, when they're not like going back and watching the games, you're just watching it. Island game. This was if you're unfamiliar with Trevor, this is mostly what it's like. It's very chaotic. I will definitely admit that I am not emotionally invested in the Jaguars at all. I mean, I like Liam Cohen. I like a lot of the players here, and I want this team to be successful, but I'm not tied to this at all. I wasn't betting on the game. I didn't have any fantasy riding on it or anything, but I was losing my mind when they took that second delay of game penalty. I'm not an animated hard ass guy at all. I'm standing up right over there in front of my TV and going like this, like, come on, get this snap off.
Everybody.
Like, it was driving me. Yeah. I mean, they're laughing about it in the booth because it's taken so long. So that was definitely driving me crazy. I think it's because it's something we've talked about, like just the operations here and everything. But I think the silver lining there is, this is one team that if you're going to be patient with something, you've really got to. There's so much new here. The coaching staff is all green. It's all new. It's the first time Liam Cohen has called plays and been a head coach. It's the first time Grant Udinsky's been an offensive coordinator. It's the first time the defensive coordinator has been a defensive coordinator. You have a quarterback who's adjusting to a new system, has his obvious warts that I think we can talk about over the long term. Are those ever going to get ironed out? I was encouraged by Trevor Lawrence's scrambling in this game. I believe it was the highest scramble rate he's ever had in his career. Converted 75% of his third down runs into first downs. That's something that I've kind of wanted to see more of from him. And I think he could still be more decisive of, let's pull this ripcord and get out of this play. I kind of compared it last night when I was doing my recap on the fantasy show to how Baker Mayfield at times in his career would always like bail out of the pocket to the right and like always drift to the right when he would get under pressure. And at some point, somebody got in his ear and said, "Hey, buddy, let me pitch you an idea. Just run up the freaking gut," So I think that like changed. I think that's like not an exaggeration to say that changed Baker's career, doing that, like in responding to pressure in that way. I'd like to see Trevor be more decisive, but I thought this was an encouraging development in that regard, like just getting out there, scrambling, like keeping the offense moving, because this is such a herky-jerky operation. Keeping the offense on schedule with his scrambles, that's encouraging. So you've got him kind of adjusting to this. And then you mentioned the Travis Hunter part of it. Like, I thought this was the most encouraging game we've seen from him as a two-way player. And I definitely, like, by a long shot, I will admit to, as somebody that is a big fan of Travis Hunter as a receiver, there is a part of me that would love to just say, like, hey, let's just have him play full-time receiver. I get it. I know a lot of people want to see that, but this is the young man's career. This is what he wants to do. Far be it from me to tell him like what he should do with his career. I thought this was the most encouraging you saw from him as a two-way player, but it's going to take a lot of time for him to get on the same page with the offense as long as they do that. So I'm glad you pointed that out, that if there was ever a team to be patient with, this is one of those teams that we need to see it. And the fact that they're 4-1 now, despite needing that patience, that's a really good sign.
And the stuff's well designed. Like this, that's what's so encouraging. Yes, I get the process stuff, and the pre-snap stuff takes a while, and I understand that. But again, they're getting to good plays. They're getting to the run game makes sense. Like sometimes a guy doesn't execute, but like why they call a play against a certain front makes sense to my football brain, to my coaching scheme brain. The passing game, same thing. It's like they're getting explosives. They're attacking over the middle. They're attacking outside. They're throwing go balls. Like the screen game, still great. Liam Cohen, still good. Like when to call screens, throwing in the tight end screens in there. And Brent Strange got banged up last night too. Have to mention that. Anton Harrison had a good game. It's just like there's just a lot of good here, even if it's not perfect. And it just kind of feels just a little bit more. I'm genuinely excited about what I'm seeing. I know I talk about the Jags. Same. It's kind of a lot, and I know it's kind of a bit, but this feels different than like anything I saw with the Doug Pearson era, which felt so Mickey Mouse to me. And then, the Travis Hunter stuff, I'll cap off with that. It's just, he had a foot cramp, which I thought was funny. It was like, yeah, he has a great play, but you mentioned the two-way play there. Like that, this was crystallizing for me. It's like, okay, this can work in this certain way. He had 19 coverage snaps on defense last night, targeted 4 times. He allowed 2 receptions for 26 yards, but he had a PBU, and then 2 of those targets were tight window targets, according to Next Gen Stats. Man coverage, it was 11 snaps, 1 target, 0 catches, and a PBU. So basically a perfect day in man coverage for him. And I really do think that, the Jaguars defense has been, they're really improved. Devin Lloyd looks great. He almost was one of my surprises that we're going to talk about. But there's just a lot of good happening with this team. Jordan Lewis is having a nice season. It's just, they had a great offseason, and they're kind of like, even if it's not perfect, the process is going to lead to some really, really great rewards, I think, down the road. And then, also shoddy refereeing. Holy crap. I can't let them escape the game without both sides. And
everybody got banged by the officiating in that one for sure.
Oh yeah. Everyone got screwed over. And then George Karlaftis had a nice game. Chris Jones, not so much. He had like 5 miles an hour on that last play with Trevor Lawrence. Many people have highlighted. But cool stuff from the Jags. Even though the Chiefs really did put together a really great performance on offense, I'm actually really encouraged what the Chiefs are showing. Rashee Rice should be a nice, fun drop in. So really fun game.